So, in the last video, we got the basics in. We got our account set up on the TradeSkillMaster website. We got the add-ons downloaded and installed, and we had a little bit of a look into what TradeSkillMaster is for, best way to use it. So what we're going to do today, we are going to move on from the very basics that we had last episode, and we are going to jump into the game, make sure the add-on's running, make sure it's all in place. We're also going to set up our first group, set up our first operation, and get our first auctions up and running. So stay with us, guys. Let's move on to that and start making that gold. Alright, so here we are. We are in the game. I've got my bank alt there. Before we click the Enter World button, there is something very important that you have to do first of all. So far, what we've done is we have installed the add-on. We've created our account on the TSM website. We've downloaded all the individual add-ons. We're logged in on the app as well, just to make sure and all your realm data's come down. We need to make sure the add-ons are there in the game. So, click the add-ons button in the bottom left-hand corner. You can ignore all of those. There we go. The only ones that we're really bothered about today are these green ones. The rest of them are just add-ons I use. So, TradeSkillMaster, all of the individual little bits and pieces. Make sure they're all ticked. If you come in just after a patch, load out of date add-ons if they're saying they're out of date. If they're in red, just make sure that they're loaded. So all the add-ons are up and running in our case, which is good. So let's log into the bank. Make sure that my recording's not overloading my encoder again. It isn't. Good. Right, so it takes a little bit of a while to get logged in with TSM, mainly because your auction database is gonna get pretty big. As more and more information goes into it, more and more pricing information, it's going to get larger. Nothing you can do about it. It doesn't take up tons and tons and tons of memory, although it says it does. It just slows a few things down. And one thing to mention as well, when you first log in, you will find all your icons are missing. Yep, my bag supposedly is empty apart from a 6, a 4, and 3 blue squares. Don't worry about that. That is something that Blizzard themselves, there we go, the backup name. That's something that Blizzard implemented, I believe, with Legion. It's an item caching system. So rather than you come in and then everything starts to load, it caches up all of the items first because it wants everything that you're possibly going to look at quick there. So it caches all them straight away and then starts bringing in the other attributes. Now, of course, because TradeSkillMaster is looking for a lot of information very quickly, it increases the size of the data cache. So it just takes it about 30 seconds. Once you've logged in, give it 30 seconds to a minute. And everything will be up and running as it should do. Right, so we are in-game, which is ideal. Let me just get rid of Heckley, because it's not like I'm ever going to do any DPS on Bankle. Right, so here's my little bank character, my little auctioneer. I don't actually have anything on me to sell. Ah, we do. Yes, we do. Right. So what we're going to do, first of all,
got the best deals anywhere.
This is TSM. This is the new auctioning interface that you're going to get when you start using TradeSkillMaster. Okay? Adds 3 new tabs. Auction DB, auctioning, and shopping. This is the shopping window. Auctioning looks very complicated. Don't worry about that. Yours won't look like this just yet. Auction DB is the old, as it says, flashing away at the top. Scanning the auction house is no longer needed. Used to be you'd run a get all scan every 3 or 4 hours and it would update your auction DB database all the time. You don't need to, the app does it for you these days, so it just saves you a job. Right, so how is TSM going to help you? A couple of people in my guild have asked that question, is TSM worth it? Do I really need it? Let me just go to the bank first. Let me just see if we've got anything in my reg bank that's worth selling. And we'll set up a couple of groups, or we'll set up our group. Quick operation. We'll go from there. Now, anyone who's never used an add-on like this, TradeSkillMaster can be a little bit overwhelming to start with. It looks a lot scarier than it is. Okay, don't be worried about it. Don't let it put you off. It's fine. Let's get all of these. Right. As you can see, my bank's a little bit bare at the minute. I actually need to go out and do a bit more farming because I'm running out of stuff. Right. So if we go trundle on back to the auction house. Thank God they put in this heirloom mount. Can you imagine having to run there all the time? And I'm not in the best bank either. Could really be an Undercity. It's one of the quicker ones. Right, so make sure everything's up and running. /TSM. There we go. There's the main core of the application. Now, in my case, you can see I've got tons of groups, tons of operations, mailing. Don't have any shopping or vendoring ones. Ah, there we go. And I've got some warehousing ones as well. Now, what we're going to do to make life nice and easy, we are going to create a new profile. So we're starting from scratch. There is no information. I have no groups. I have no operations. And I'll explain all what they are in a moment. We're starting from square one with a lot of random pap in my bags. All right. So what we do, first of all, you say you've got, I don't know, you've got some enchanting mats that you want to sell on the auction house. How would you normally do it? You'd go to the auctioneer. You'd go browse. You'd search for the item. There we go. And you'd go 143 gold. And then you'd go auctions. And you'd have to do them one by one by one. 48 hours. Price per item, which you probably won't have on yours. I think this is an auction. This is, again, the TSM thing. And either way, it's a hassle having to do everything individually. Now, if you've got, say, 150 different things that you've got that you want to sell, then that could take the better part of a day to get done. This is where TSM is going to make your life nice and easy. So the first thing you need to bear in mind with TradeSkillMaster is it was not written to be user-friendly. I think that's the one thing that TSM3 lets it down, to be honest. It's not been designed to be easy to get your head around. There are two main things with TradeSkillMaster that you need to understand. You have groups and you have operations. Now, they are exactly as they sound. A group is purely a group of items. It's just a collection of items that will be treated in a specific way. They don't all have to be enchanting mats or herbs or anything like that. You could have an axe, 2 shards, and a bottle of Dalaran wine in there if you really wanted, you know. In this case, we're actually going to do something very similar. We're going to create a group. Just call it 1. You can literally call it whatever you want to. Group name 1, switch to new group after creation. And remember, every time you type into a box in TradeSkillMaster, always click the OK button, or you will lose what you've just done. Take it from someone who's done it before. Right, so we've created our group, which is this group here. There it is. Now, that's moved us, once we clicked OK, it moved us to the items tab of the group itself. Now, this is where you can add any items in your bags that are not in a group already into this group. So, say I want to sell that. In fact, you know what? Let's just that, and that. And we'll stick a pigment, and we'll put those relics up, and that, and that. Right, so we add all of those. I don't want to sell those. I'm quite attached to my leeks, living in Wales and everything. So, all these individual items, we've just added to a group called 1, which is fine. TSM, however, doesn't know what to do with these items just yet. This is where the operations come in. So, go to the operations tab, or you can go to the operations option at the top. It's probably the best way of doing it, to be fair. You go to operations up here. Now, all of the different types of operations you can have are here. Auctioning, crafting, mailing, shopping, vendoring, and warehousing is just, do I send it? Vendoring is if you're going to buy it. Shopping is when you're searching for it in the auction house. Mailing is where do you want it mailed to. Crafting, if you're making it. And auctioning, which is the one we're going to have a look at. Now, go to our group. Auctioning, there we go. Every now and again, you'll get a little bug like I just had there where the actual screen doesn't come up. Go back into the groups, go back to the operations, and it's there again. Just the way it's designed. Right, so we're going to call this Cell 1. You can't have the operation called exactly the same as a group. They've got to be unique names. All right, so click OK. That brings us to the posting settings. This is where you are telling TradeSkillMaster, almost called it auctioneer there. This is where you're telling TSM what you want to do with any group you have tagged this operation to. So a group is just the set of items. The operations is what you want to happen to that set of items under certain circumstances. So, 48 hours. I want to post 1, so post cap is 1. As it says, they've got tooltips over pretty much everything. So have a read of the individual boxes. There are a couple of things that will throw you a little bit, but it's worth having a wee look. So, post cap 1, like it says, how many auctions at the lowest price tier can be up at any one time. If you don't want to have a cap, just set it to 0. Simple as, okay? Sorry, setting this to 0 disables posting for any groups it's applied to. So if you've got a load of stuff that you may want to sell, you can just set that to 0, it won't post them. If you want it, 200 is the limit. So we want that to be 1. Always helps when I know what I'm talking about. And stack size. How many are in a single auction? So is it 1 auction of 1, 1 auction of 20? We're only selling 1 of the items, so it's just going to be 1 in this case. Allow partial stacks. This is really good if you're selling a lot of herbs, for example. Say I've got 136 foxflower, and I'm selling in stacks of 100. If I click Allow Partial Stack, it will create a stack of 100 as normal, and it will also sell a stack of 36. If I only want to sell in stacks of 100, then I untick this, and it'll only sell that 1 stack, and it'll leave the 36 in my bag. Again, this is getting into it in a bit more detail because you can have multiple operations for the same item, which we'll get to in a later video, but this is the basic one. All right, so allow partial stack, we don't need. Keep quantity, how many do you want to keep with you at any point? How many do you want to hold on to? Again, if you're doing things like flasks, I have this on a mailing operation for my Death Knight, who's my alchemist. It's also my main character, so I raid with that character. I always say keep quantity for a certain flask is 5. I never want to have less than 5 strength flasks at any one time. Otherwise, they all get automatically sent to my bank and I auction them. And then I realise I haven't got any flasks for the raid, which is never good. Maximum expires. If an item doesn't sell, your expires number goes up by 1. So 0 just disables it. If you want to say, right, I only want it to go 100 times, and then it won't list it. If it doesn't get bought after the 100th auction, you won't sell it again. It'll just not post it for you. Again, depending on the item, I just leave that at 0. Now, this is the important bit. Posting price settings. I tell you, I could create a really long video on this all on my own, to be fair. Bid percent. If anyone... Well, let's backtrack a little bit. When you post an item onto World of Warcraft's auction house, whoever has the lowest bid price is the one that appears first in the search listings. Alright? Bid price, not buyout price. So, if Bob comes along and lists 100 foxflower for 1 gold apiece with a bid price of 1 gold apiece, and then I come along and post exactly the same amount with a buyout price of 1 gold apiece and a bid price of 99 copper, I will be above him in the listings. Simple as that. I will be higher in the list than he will. So someone will come along and say, oh, I need to buy foxflower. I'll be above him. People don't search for names. They just get the cheapest. Simple as. So that'll push you to the top. Now, personally, again, this is different depending on what I'm selling. I usually have this at about 95%. Undercut amount, for the love of everything, never change it from 1 copper. There is no point to it. There was a gentleman I spoke to a couple of months ago who swore by undercutting by a gold. And I'm like, that's really good, but I list about 500 auctions a week. That's $2,000 a month I'm missing out on. Which, alright, fair enough, is pocket change, but it adds up. So there's no benefit to it. Undercut by 1 copper, puts you to the top of the listing, job done. Now, minimum, maximum, normal price. This is where things get a little bit technical. There is something called pricing sources. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my chat window up to the top of the screen here so you guys can see it. No, I'm not, because it's locked in place. Right, let me just move my head. Oh, there we go. Moving ahead. So, /TSM sources. Ooh, what's all this? Destroy, vendor buy, vendor sell, average buy, average sell, max buy. Tries to give you a little bit of an idea. Essentially, these are the different sources for where TradeSkillMaster is going to get the pricing from. Is it going to be from how much it costs to craft? How much the materials cost? DB market, which is essentially a posh way of saying this server. DB region. Where is it? DB region sale average is the average sale price across Europe or the US or Asia, whichever set of realms you're playing on. DB region market average is the average market price for Europe or America, depending again what set of realms you're on. All of these different sources are different ways of working out pricing information, and you can be as basic or as complicated as you want to be. Now, say for these, we just want to sell them at whatever our realm's prices are. So normal price, DB market. Job done. Okay. Right. So the normal price of whatever I sell is going to be whatever the market price is on Drain or EU. Now, minimum price. We're going to say 75%, I think. So minimum price, 75%. DB market. Maximum 250%. Let's be a bit greedy with this lot. Again, this is just for testing operations. You should have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of these operations set up once you've been doing this for a few months, because you'll have different items that you want to sell a different way. For example, if you've got a flipping group where you've bought something to resell, you want to make sure that you do not sell it for 1 copper less than 106% of what you paid for it, or you're making a loss, due to the fact that the auction house take a cut anyway. Okay? Little things like that. But again, we can get into that in a future video. This is purely just to get your head around what an operation is, what a group is, and how they link to each other. Alright? So, we're going to have DB market for the normal price, 75% for the minimum, maximum is 250. When below minimum, what do? You've got some options here. Now, if you are trying to sell an item and all of the auctions are below what you consider a minimum price, you can do one of a few things. You can either post it at your normal price, ignoring everyone else. You can not post it and hold on to it and hope the price increases. You can post it at your minimum price, which, to be fair, is one I do quite frequently. Or you can post it at your maximum price, or you can just ignore all the auctions below your minimum price. Now, I'm going to have post at minimum. So if all of the auctions for the items I put in that group are below 75% of the market value, I'm going to post them at 75%. Simple as. Again, same thing for maximum. What do you do when the price is above maximum? You post it at your maximum. And then you close it. Now, one thing I have forgotten to do, very bad of me, is you load up TSM again. What we need to do is we need to link the operation here. Let me just rename that. Cell 1, not cell apostrophe. There we go. So we need to link cell 1 to 1, the group. Now, this is how we do that. Click the little groups crystal at the top of TradeSkillMaster. Select 1, or whatever group you've decided to make. Again, it's got all these items in. You go to the Operations tab, which is the first one. Ah, hello. Auctioning, crafting, mailing, shopping. What do we do with these? Go to the auctioning one, operation number 1. Oh, look. The operation that we just made is now listed here. We click this, and it'll say, sell 1, posting 1 stack of 1 for 48 hours, cancelling undercut to repost higher, not resetting. Done. That's it. You're now set up. You click on the auctioneer. We wait half an hour for our remarkably slow auction house to work. So the one thing I don't like about Draenor is it's really, really slow. Our auction house, and if you have a look on the official WoW forums, you'll see a few people have posted about this. I think Silvermoon get the same problem. It can take ages on our server. Most servers are really quick, not ours. Right, so here we are. Our auction house display, our auction house window is up. Auctioning is the tab you want. Select the groups which you'd like to include in the scan. Every single group you have is selected by default. You can deselect them, select them all, and you can select individual ones if you want to. So we've only got the one group. We click one, we start a post scan. Now it says at the bottom here, scanning 1 of 13, page 1 of 3. That means the first item on the list, there's 3 pages worth of those items, and it's probably those shards. Because they've actually been selling really well for me recently. I've just sold about 50 of those today at average of 45 gold. Sale average at 26. So, yeah, I think I've been making about 32, 33. So they're selling quite well. Now, the first one's Falcosaur eggs. There we go. That's actually what I wanted to see. Below minimum price, posting at minimum. Now, if you hover over the money, it'll basically pull up the tooltip that you'd have had on the item anyway. Minimum price is 433.9, maximum is 1443.63 with a normal of 5 gold 77. That is my pricing based on my operation that I've just done. The lowest buyout on the auction house on Draenor EU at the moment is 2 gold 22. So what I've done is gone, right, we're going to forget that. We're going to post it at my lowest price, which is 433. Again, the same for all of these. Normal 33. But you see here in green it says undercutting competition. The normal price is 33 gold. However, the lowest is 42, so I'm putting them up at 41.99.99. They should sell. Relic of Ursol, I've never ever sold one of these. I don't know why I keep trying. I've never sold it. And again, lowest buyout just under 2k. Normal price 22.80. Maximum price 5,700. Who's going to pay 5,700 gold? You just level a druid. Minimum price 1,700. Again, I'm undercutting the competition by 1 copper, so the cheapest 1994.99. Mine's 1994.99.89. So I'm undercutting that 90 copper to 89 copper. Nice and easy. Imperial Amethysts. Again, undercutting him. So just looking at the price there, 65.89.98. I'm going to guess that the cheapest on the market is 65.89.99. We have a look at the tooltip. Oh, there it is. Lowest buyout, 65.89.99. All of these posting at minimum, so yeah, lowest buyout on that is 69 silver. Again, I've got tons of these, so if they sell, they sell. Happy days. Relic of turning into a cat. Again, 1,400 gold, undercutting them. Undercutting, and this one, Wildfowl Breast. There are no auctions for it. So I'm posting it at my normal price. As you can see, you click on it and it'll give you a detailed log of what that item is on the auction house. And as you can see, there's nothing there. So if I was to have a look and see, let's have a look at the... This one here, the Sinister Squashling. I actually had 6 of these. So I've got... No, I had 5, sorry. I've got 2 in my bag and 3 which I've learned. And they're just sat there. I just want to get rid of them. So... below the minimum price, posting at minimum price. Minimum price for me is 15.28.21. Maximum's 50 with a normal price of 20. However, people are trying to flog them for less than 5 gold. I want to see how many there are. So what you do is you just click on the line, Sinister Squashling, and this gives you a bit more detailed information as to what's going on the auction house for that item. So, Thadrin has 2 auctions up. 1 per auction, which is fine because they're non-stackable. Percentage of market value. He's posted them for 24% of their market value. Now, either he doesn't know what he's got, or he doesn't care and he just wants rid of them, which I can understand. Cookie Monster, however, if he's not a troll with blue hair, I'll be really annoyed. Has 1 up for 48 hours. He's put it up for 458 gold, which is 2,252% of the average price for this realm. So, yeah, that's not going to sell in a month of Sundays. You click Show Log to go back to where we were. And there we go. These are all confirmed. Post, 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 post. There we go, done posting, and then it'll just confirm that all the auctions have gone through. Don't be surprised to find, if you're selling something like flasks or something like that, they sell very quickly, and you can end up with, in your chat box, you'll end up with confirmation of sales for items before they physically disappeared from your bags. This is just, again, the item caching. TradeSkillMaster has already listed the auction. The game has already taken the item away. It just hasn't updated on your side yet, that's all. So don't think you can duplicate flasks by sticking 100 of them on the auction house. As soon as one sells, closing the auction house window. Doesn't work, unfortunately. It has a tendency of crashing you, and you have to wait a quarter of an hour to log back in because your character gets stuck in a sort of a log out loop. But there we go, that's the basics of it. Now, after all of that, I just posted, well, not a massive amount, but we got some auctions up. Now, if I go to my auctions listing here, ignore all of these are things I've got up already. But if we go right to the bottom, there's our Sinister Squashling, the 1 Wildfowl Breast, the 1 Kitty Cat Relic, 1 Heart of the Wild, 11 silver, whoopee-doo, 1 Pigment, 1 Fireball Food, a Fish, 1 Kuiperite. If that sells, I'll be amazed, because I've had about 60 of that. Yeah, 58 of that in my bank for about a year, and I've just never done anything with it. All these bits and bobs, I mean, at the moment, my auction amount, my total auctions are quite low, because I just collected about 100k's worth the other day, and I haven't bothered farming anything else to put up. I've got 44,446 golds worth of junk, and it is junk in my case right now, on the auction house. Guarantee the majority of that probably won't sell. It'll go back in the bank for another couple of weeks and I'll try it again. But you'd be surprised. Once you've got this installed, once you've got this set up with some groups, and that'll be the next video, is importing a few groups, creating a few big ones with the help of a lovely person called Shayra. Never met them. Would love to sort of shake her hand, to be honest, and just say thank you very much for the groups. And once you get some complicated group setups in place, it's always worth looking at the tooltips of all of the items that you pick up, no matter where you get them from. Because you'd be amazed what's worth money. Like, we'll take this Eternium thread. You buy it from a vendor for 3 gold. Yet, it's got an average sale price of 8 gold on the auction house. People are lazy. If someone goes to the auction house and they're buying hundreds upon hundreds of Shaldori silk because they want to make a load of things, and they realise, oh, I'm 5 Eternium thread short of whatever I need, if it's even the right thread, then rather than coming out of the auction house, running all the way to the other side of Orgrimmar or whatever city they're in, just to go and buy that thread, they'll just search the auction house for it. And so for people that are sat on a million odd gold, it's pocket change. But it's those people who are sat on a million odd gold. We get there by flipping things like vendor purchasable crafting mats, things like that. Runic cat guts. If you've got a tailor and you're farming anything, any sort of animal, basically, and they drop runic cat gut, hold on to them. They sell very, very well. Little bits and pieces like that. So it's always worth looking at the tooltips. Again, you can condense the tooltip. I've just got mine set to default, but you can condense the tooltip down in the settings for TSM. Little bits and pieces like that. And it can show you as much or as little information as you want. So what I would say, over the next few days, we're not going to have another video just yet. But what I want you to do over the next few days is have a little search on the likes of YouTube, on Google, things like that. Read up about the pricing sources for TradeSkillMaster. Try and get your head around how it all works, because some of them, like DB Market Average, yeah, fine. That's a very, very basic command that we've used. However, you can go massively into depth. I mean, my usual one, I switch my TSM profile back to my normal one. Let me just close the bank again. Options, profiles, existing profiles, main. Right, so this is my normal profile. If I load TSM up again, I should have all my groups and my operations back. There we go. Right, Legion Pets is using my pets profile, which I think is a basic one. View operations. There we go. My price is John. That's my name. People are going to go, hang on, what's all that about? Because I have what's called a custom price source, which is this. Custom price for this source is the average price of my server, and my region. And again, that's a very basic one. Shayra has some of her own custom sources that you end up with when you use her profile. We'll go over that next time. And look at that. Max first, 105% max crafting, average buy divided by 0.95, 75% first, DB market, DB historical, and my brain's falling out of my ear. Yeah. If you're into this sort of thing and you're really good with the numbers, you're going to do really well with TradeSkillMaster. If you're not, have a read up and try and learn a bit. I would strongly recommend it. But yeah, you can go miles down the rabbit hole and fine-tune your prices down to the last copper to make sure you're getting as much gold as you can. Or you can find a happy medium, which is what I do basically. It's an average of my server price and the European average, along with a few other bits and bobs, depending on what the item is. But again, this is all just a basic grounding. That's why it's a 101 course. And there you have it. So far, let's have a think back over 2 videos. What have we done? We've found out what TradeSkillMaster is. We've downloaded it. We've installed it. We've got our TSM website account. We've set the add-on up. We've got into game. We've created a group. We've created an operation. And we've posted our first set of auctions. Not bad for 20, 30 minutes. Be proud of yourselves. Next video will be coming up probably might be a few more days before that one's up, because I'm going to have a think about the best way to put this one across. It's going to be importing groups. We're going to use Shayra's pay spin profile, which I'll show you at the time, so don't worry too much about that for now. I'll try and go into it in a bit of detail as to what it's doing, why it's doing it, and then we'll all have a nosebleed whilst we try and decipher some of her operations. All right. Well, once again, guys, thank you very much for stopping by. Like the video if you like it. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe and the bell. It does help. It lets me know that people are watching it. Basically gives me a kick in the backside to go and make episode 3. All in all, guys, using the information that I've given you so far, what I want you to do is go and create a group in TradeSkillMaster. Create your own operation. Don't base it on one of mine. Go and have a read up. Create your own operation. Put it in the comments down there with a description as to what the group is for. Is it just a generic group that you're just dumping everything into? Is it a specific group for a specific type of item, like a type of profession material, like ores, something like that? And any operations you make, put them in the comments as well. Let me know about them. Again, tell me what they operate. Tell me your thought process, why you've picked that operation, why you've picked that pricing level. And we'll have a little conversation. We'll see what we can do. Thanks very much, guys. It's been a pleasure. See you all in part 3.